Yeah, right. Cape of Storms being the first map. So this is a map probably that the teams have probably avoided to the best of their ability because they didn't want to play it in the group stage, but they aren't getting away because the fewest, least played maps in the group stage, that becomes your go-to maps for the. Oh, that's a little bit loud for me. For the playoff best of five. Right, without further ado, let's introduce the players. Mike Giorgio here in the purple playing as the Persians. You can see there's lots of water here, there's lots of fish to see, and elevation in the waters. So Cape of Storms, you know it's stormy weather, that's why there's hilltops around here. I have no idea why there's some green in the at the edge here, but I guess it's just because of the small bug in the map generation. Shouldn't make too much of a difference. There's no resources to be taken here, so just a bug. But yeah, yes, elevation bonuses apply on these hills in the water, so you might want to play the galleys if you have the opportunity to do so, if you're fighting for water. But the land area is by far the largest, lots of wood to contest in the middle, and you'll often see the teams walling off at least one side to try and stay somewhat safe. Start is pretty close. We have the three TCs quite close to each other, so invites for like three players coordinating their armies. But that's the Persians town centers and docks. They start working faster once you reach the next age. So feudal age 10% faster, twice the hit points as well for the docks and town centers. And yeah, 15 and 20% faster in the castle and imperial ages. Lavalar with the Saracens, he has the faster firing galleys, which we might see here. Maybe the Saracens player will take some responsibility of waters for the waters, given the elevation at hand here. While Hoopla with the Dravidians is closest to the middle, might play archers on land, but could also play on water because Dravidians get 200 extra wood upon reaching the next stage, so it's easy to drop another dock and get your units production going, whether you're going for land or naval units. Now as for BJ, let's have a look at their civilizations of choice here. Pepes Asia with the Huns here. Never needing to build houses, always useful, should be able to pump out units more quickly and efficiently as a result of never being housed. Huns, discounted cav archers as well, could of course see play on a map like this. I don't see any elevation land here, is there? But still, Huns fully upgraded paladins, almost fully upgraded cav archers. They're only missing the last arbor upgrade, and that's for balance reasons, I assume, because Huns cav archers are also 20% cheaper. They're also going to give their teammates a 20% faster stables production as their team bonus. So that could come into play here, especially with Guil here with the Berbers. The famous cavalry civilization on land, but also faster moving villagers and ships. So Berbers could also contest the waters with galleys or fire galleys, depending, and always be able to catch up with the other players' ship. Arena Classic is over with, so we need to hide that one, or actually delete it. So as not to confuse anyone here. I think that's it. Is it? Oh, sorry about this. Yeah, I don't know. I'll look into it after the first match, I guess. I need to fix that. That's just in the way of everything. This one probably. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. Goodbye, Arena Classic. We've concluded that one already. But yeah, as mentioned, Berbers, capital civilization, but also faster moving ships and builders. You can actually see it in the stats here. The builder 0.80 to by default, whereas the Berbers villagers have 0.88, so 10% faster movement rate. And finally, Kremoror with the Bulgarians over here. We might see Codex, we might even see Bulgarians cav archers, but Bulgarians, they will never play the archers because they, or almost never, because they don't get crossbows. But they could still play Codex for cavalry, or they could play They're cavaliers because their unique technology from the castle is stirrups that allows your cavalry to move 33% faster or attack 33% faster, I guess. So that's a sort of an invisible technology. Could actually give you the upper hand against similarly upgraded opponent units. Also, you could use Kreposts, the mini castle for the Bulgarians to claim some of the map control up north here to secure some of these abundant stones and golds up to the side here, which will come into play as the game moves on, I'm sure. Let's see the fish situation 4-3-2. That's a pretty similar approach in terms of the fish here for the two teams here. Looks like Loom is in for Pepe Sazia, so Hoopla won't be able to snipe that villager on the dock here. Now the quick walls up for Pepe Sazia to keep that fisher woman safe as well. Did Greed save the scout there? Took some hits to the hit points either here or further on, but keeps it somewhat safe. Still able to scout the enemy side though. Took the long way around. And confirms that there aren't any walls going up for the opponents, at least not yet. And we'll now be looking for what they might be up to. I did see a barracks go up here for the Persians. Might see some Persian scouts here maybe, and the feudal age is in for Pepe Sazia, who's definitely going for the archers approach here, which could be followed up with cavalry archers, so I think that makes sense. Archers would help you break through the opponent's side more easily, since you can deny walling from behind to some extent. And it's also a quite common flank play, of course. That's 3 scouts chasing Pepe Sazia. That seems scary here. 3 docks for our Saracens player, so indeed it's going to be the Saracens galleys using that elevation advantage on the water to try and claim that for dying to the boar here. Wait, one elephant not taken yet? Why is that not taken? It could be that Lamalarm didn't know that there are 3 elephants to start on this map, because I believe it is. What's the normal meta for this map? I haven't seen a lot of play for it, but you often see one side being walled off, and then they have one player taking responsibility for water, and then the others work together on land, and once you've won water, you place full focus on land. The naval situation plays a role here, because if you control the coastline, you could also use, cannon galleons, or you could use your naval units to protect your land units, because it goes this far in. Yeah, we're seeing the walls going up here from Mike Giorgio, only palisades, but this is a long way around, so you wouldn't really expect the opponents to attack on this side anyway. Looks like they're placing the building foundations to keep the aggression out here as well. Hoopla not focusing on water all that much. There's 4 fish, that's about it. Also didn't make any more in the feudal age. Maybe not... doesn't want to invest too much until the naval situation has actually been won. I hope Dying to the Boar will notice this hole, because this could definitely backfire, and this house foundation isn't really going to help all that much to keep the home base safe either. Great aggression here by Hoopla now. He has, how many? 7 archers out. Fletching is in as well, which makes it a lot easier to snipe opponent Villagers and archers. No fletching for the Huns yet, but it's on the way, and we have Mike Giorgio here joining in with Hoopla as well to meddle in between here. Bloodlines, that's a real early bloodlines for Mike Giorgio here with the Persians, but I guess the Persians fish eco, 8 fish out for Mike here, and allows for that early bloodlines and possibly a fairly early cast stage as well, looking at the farm production here. Elevation advantage for Lam Alarm's galleys here, I would assume at least. I'm not sure how these mechanics work, but seems to have decent numbers going on here. It's 11 galleys and counting, and with 2 players fighting for water for BJ, this could be an advantage for Dying to the Boar, as they have 2 players doing decent on land. Looks like Hoopla took a hit close to the reinforcements of Pepe Asia here. KD 7-3 though, so Hoopla leaves with a positive kill-death ratio here against the blue player. Galleys diving back in there. This is like Archer's micro on land. The galleys also have like a hit and run potential. Can Tatars play water here, I wonder? Yes, I saw it in the 3rd division playoff actually. It was also Cape of Storms, and then they had 1 player playing the Tatars on water, but yeah, didn't quite work out for them. But they will get that extra hill advantage, so it's probably not the worst idea ever to try and exploit that as the Tatars. Defensive tower on the woodland here. I like this from Guil. It keeps the woodland safe from the archer's aggression of Hoopla. And as you can see, most of the wood is in the center here, and you want to have some form of control over that. So I think that's a good call to... Oh, it goes up just in time! I guess there weren't any enemy scouts here, but it's nice to scout that there is impact. Some opening in the woodlands here. So, a bit of fighting in the middle here from Dying to the Boar again. Let me see if there's something I can do about there's a bit of stutter here. I just want to see if it makes a difference in the overall situation here. Looks like Lamanarm has control over the waters here. Saracen's player taking out all of the fish of BJ, at least by the looks of it. Greed trying to go into fire galleys here. It is sort of a proper response to the Saracen's galleys here. If you get close, the fire galleys will slay, but that's the problem. The galleys can hit and run against the fire galleys for indefinitely. They could just keep hitting and running, and Lava Alarm keeps feeling the galleys here as well. Might have been using the market a little bit here, not a lot actually, but has that Saracen's market bonus to tweak resources as needed as well. Pepe Zazia with the defensive tower on the goal, but that is going to cost him a lot here. 13 eco units lost, that's mostly ships, you know, but still great aggression by Hoopla here. This could be a game on the shorter side if it evolves like it does right now. It's like almost 40 villagers need for Dying to the Boar. Granted, they don't have wheelbarrow. All of BJ going to Castle Age though, so all of the players are going to be in the Castle Age in a couple of minutes from now. But that doesn't change the fact that BJ has taken serious hits here. The tower doesn't complete on the gold. In fact, it's almost going down here. And with Hoopla, with the Saracen's ally, means that the archers of Hoopla are dealing bonus damage against buildings as well. So 3 bonus damage against buildings by the looks of it. So you could actually take out buildings with the Dravidian's archers here as well if you commit enough to that. Green is in the cast stage with the Berbers here. Double stables going up here. I'm not sure what that range is about. I guess there's been... I was thinking about skirmishers or janitors different defense or something. to keep the aggression out. But dying to the border, they're claiming both the land and the waters here. So it's going to be really hard to come back from for BJ here. Look at the blue player. Look at Peppers, he is down to 18 villagers. That's not going to get you very far if you look at his resources as well. Lots of food in the bank, yes, but that's about all there is. So the Hunnic player will need to flee further back here to survive the storm here on Cave of Storms. Another range going up. I mean, if this were a regular ranked game, you could sling your teammates, so Pepe Sazia could still get some units out, but that's not an option here. You need to be in the Imperial Age to sling if you're the player sending resources needs to be in the Imperial Age. That's the rules of the 3v3 league. Triple TCs for the Bulgarians. They also save a bit of stone, plopping down TCs. Only 50 stone per TC. It looks like Kremborg is going to play the cavalry here as well. So double cavalry from BJ. Yes, knights and camels, or knights alone. If you get enough out of them, maybe you'll be able to match the Dravidians and Persians' efforts here. But considering that Lamalarm has won the water, Lamalarm would be able to field units on land as well. The range is up already, so we could easily make crossbows into Arbalest for the Saracens player as well, and together with that's going to be a double crossbow and knights play for dying to the board, and that will be hard to stop for BJ with one player now essentially out of the game for a long time, unless Pepe Sasia can pull off the boom of a lifetime here, reboom of a lifetime. Going for the cavalry archers, but let's have a look at Pepe's resources again. No gold access. Is about to go back to gold now, but the 0 gold in the bank. We'll have to rely on market trading, maybe sell some foods to get more cav archers out. And BJ, they're struggling. They're down. There's 3 times as much military per dying to the boar here. Or let's say 2 times, since 1/3 of the armies are in fact on the water here with the 21 war galleys. I don't know what Hoopla has against mining camps, but he wants to stop Grill from getting gold mining, I guess. Actually, let's check that just for fun if Grill has gold mining in. So that actually delays the gold income a little bit from Grill until, yeah, he has the mining camp over there, so he could research it. But these crossbows, if assuming Bodkin is in, and it is, Hoopla could also take out this TC with crossbows alone, but this is going to struggle a bit against the Berbers now. It's 13 knights, and there's also triple stable production from the Teal player over here as well. But in the meantime, by Giorgio with the knights raids up to the right here with the Persians, and forcing a reaction from Kremborg up to the right. Dying to the war, extending the boom as well. 2 TCs each now. They're twice the eco of BJ, and about 1.5 as many land military, I would say. Mix of camels and knights from the Persians as well. I like that, since we're up against the Berbers here. And good team coordination here from dying to the board to stay close to the crossbows with cavalry armies here of Mike Giorgio. See, here's how the naval control comes into play. I mean, if the cavalry archers or even the cavalry of the Berbers try to catch up with the Persian military, you could always pull back to the cover fire of the Saracens galleys over here. So it's not easy to engage when you've lost water on this map. It's not paramount to control water, I think. I think you could still win without naval control, but you'd need to have a much larger land economy than is the case here for BJ. Now look at that, 119 to 217 villagers. Yeah, production building is going down for Pepe's Asia here as well. Look at the eco situation here. 15 builders for blue now. Pepe's might even lose TC here, and if this one goes down, the armies are dying to the war. They could snipe these villagers as well, and the Huns player will be close to the point of defeat here. Saracens sending in the camels as well. Saracens camels, they have extra hit points in the castle age. Given the position of dying to the wars here, dying to the war now here, it makes sense to go double cavalry for the mobility of things, and because they have such a huge lead, they could just do whatever they want at this point. Kveborg over to the top side now, trying for a counter raid. That's going to pull some of the attention away, but I think Lamolarm could just send the camel production from home to deal with this. The full upgrades are in, that's the case for the Knights player as well, but let's see if Mike reacts here. Will Mike see it? Will Mike quick wall this one? Quick wall! Quick wall! Quick wall! Ah! Okay, good raid from Kveborg on this side, but there are some Saracens camels joining in here. And there's too much damage done on BJ's side. And the GG is called, and understandably so. The first game goes to dying to the boar. GG, well played. Let's have a look at the statistics here. I guess that quick wall didn't lack of a quick wall didn't matter too much in the end. So Saracens military score the highest, but that's because the war galleys on the water. You still have 21 of those, and they're never going to let go on the naval control. There's no way for BJ to get comfortably back on water, and the fact that there's, I mean, I'd love to have seen Hoopla invest more into fish as well when they know that the naval control is in their hands, but of course you need wood for your land units as well, and 47 crossbows, that's no joke. Hey, yeah, Johannes, playoff final is best of 5. I did leave it as optional though, so the finalists, they can choose to play a best of 3 or best of 5 as they please. Economy situation here, unsurprisingly, it's well ahead for dying to the war. And the app times, slightly earlier maybe. Hoopla somewhat late, but did play some extended fuel age archers there, so that kind of makes sense as well. And then the APM chart, just because it's fun to follow. Top APM here at 109 something for the purple player, so not too bad. Alright, let's find game 2. It's 1-0 for dying to the war. Here we go for the next one. Second game on the first home map of BJ, and that's going to be Otisco. Okay, so we have a nomad start. Nomad start, and it's yeah, quite different map to what you're used to seeing. It's see here the ox cart, but that's loaded with villagers. The ox wagon. So you need to delete that to place your first TC. You see Kveborg here immediately does that and wants to settle immediately on the first and closest wood line. You get a water buffalo as well, but he can't scout. That's just one addition of the map scripter tech chariot. But looks like he's containing food, so at least that's something. Chadbardai, that's also a scout unit that to start with, but he doesn't have any attack, so you're still going to have that nomad start spirit, but with some extra options to scout. Looks like... uh-oh. Where's Saito going? Saito, with the Koreans here, is also going to settle near the... or on the other side here. You see the crossing here, it's guarded by lots of wolves. So you need to decide early on whether you want to settle close to the sea or safely behind the lines here, but with the tougher food access. You see the forage bushes, they have more food on them. The deer have standard food, but there are lots of patches of deer, so you'll still be okay settling on land. But as you can see up here, it's again, water plays a significant role here with all of the deep fish and these patches of gold and stone on the neutral islands in the middle here. So for Otisco, the meta has sort of developed for one player to settle where they begin, in the southmost corner and get essentially a free boom. Burgundians for Padlin, Franks for Kebrorg, while the other players will make some efforts to try and win water. Malians, they can drop a dock immediately, so that's always a great civilization for these naval starts, or nomad starts, I mean. Koreans, probably gonna see war wagons, but they have the turtle ship on water as well, so they are a decent naval save for sure. As for dying to the boar, we have Lamalar with the Byzantines, faster fire galleys, cheaper Imperial Age. Could make, for the naval fighting, could make a comeback on water if need be with the fast fire ships with an early Imperial Age advantage. Hoopla with the Vietnamese, probably a little bit to know where the TC start, and also it's nice information to gather here for Hoopla and his team, because they'll know that the green TC is still not up. It's going to pop up on Hoopla's minimap once it's complete, and there we go. So significant head start for dying to the boar here. I'd say Padlin with the early TC, Kevrog with the early TC, with the Franks, by the way, going to play the Paladins here probably. So yeah, let's call those the pockets. Let's call Kevrog the pocket, and let's call Padlin the pocket, because they will be booming away until preferably late Castle Age, early Imperial Age, before they start feeling any significant units. There's something to contest in the middle here as well. These are just some neutral wheels, some nice details on the map here, but in the center there's some fire tucks and some spearmen guarding a total of 13 relics. Argentina was UK, okay, yeah, that's a bit of a time difference. Glad it could work it out though. Could always be language barriers or other scheduling issues. Now that we have the TC settled, I think I'll take the liberty of a little bit of a fast forward here. We'll keep an eye on their scoutings, but like overall, see what the feudal age will bring. There will be some naval fighting. Looks like it's only Saito settling for the short run. That's a surprise to me, because the Malians player should definitely dock. Immediately on these nomad start. Here comes the dock though, and first fish should pop out immediately. A couple of fish, in fact. Guess it's not too late, but I mean, TC and dock ASAP for the Malians. You need to get those fish out to make take advantage of your civilization bonuses. Padlin going up at 24 population here, as we have 26 population for Kevrog, so I guess the idle time is slightly lower for the Franks player here. Setting up for a nice early economy, docking from the two players of each team here, but 2 docks up for the Byzantines, already level arm at 29 pop, and should be able to pump out fire galleys enough to take out the fish and claim the naval control for his side. There's the feudal age for Saito as well, and that would be the Koreans player. 18 villagers, 6 fishing ships. So all of the players have some significant idle TC time here, but that's because food is somewhat hard to come by, especially on land on this map. So the players with the fish, they should be best off here. Good scouting by Hoopla, by the way. He's confirming that there is indeed a Korean dock app here. I think Gui wanted to try and block the Shanbadai, the scout unit here, but didn't quite succeed. And another dock here, actually a third dock going up for the Malians, so Guil is not joking around there. It's with 36 villagers, Is your gold though? Not sure if our blue friend is on gold. Here's one on gold. Where is Guil taking gold? It could be right next to the TC. He really needs to go to gold now if the ambition here is to fight for water. Otherwise they're going to be overrun by the triple dock production of the Byzantine player. 2 docks producing the pirate galleys for the time being, but they fire faster. BJ, they barely have an enable armies out as it stands, so they are going to struggle to keep control over the navies here. 3 docks for the Malians, but there's also 3 docks for the Byzantines. 1 dock for Hoopla if Hoopla needs to chime in here. But currently, I think it's fine if the Byzantine player contests this alone. Gets the first eco kill here, as we saw the Castle Age kicking in for Kevorog, the Franks player as well. 2 TCs being dropped immediately. Hello, Tech Chariot, or Pleb Chariot in the chat now. He is the man behind this map. So do feel free to give him complaints or compliments on the Otisco. We had some good games on Otisco, so I'm glad we managed to get it into the pool. However, the next season will have a Battle of Africa 3. Battle of Africa 3 map pack as the tournament or league map pool. I think I like that Lavalarm is focusing mainly on the fish here. There's 7 fishing ships for Malians, so that's going to be a setback if they go down. Attempting some repairs here, but that villager is taken out by the fire galleys. A couple of more fire galleys popping out here. All 3 docks producing for Guil now, but the Byzantines already with 8 fire galleys out, dominating. With the superior numbers and the faster firing rate here. Let's see if we can find some way to compare, maybe. Yeah, dying to the more. They seem experienced with the naval fighting here. We saw it on Cape of Storms as well. Granted, they had 1 player on Cape of Storms committing to water as well. It's a different player, or is it the same actually? Anyway, Lavalarm really making good efforts for his team here to win the water, secure these neutral resources, more importantly secure the fish. We've seen players or teams docking these middle isles as well to shorten the travel distance for the fish. Lama is our water guru, gotcha. So Lama is the designated naval fighter. Demolition ships added for Guil here, I like that. While the Franks player, Free Boom in the back here, Podlean still in the feudal age. Still in the feudal age with the Burgundians here, and if we look at the eco situation, the Franks player already 10 villagers ahead now. That's going to escalate with the better eco upgrades. No wheelbarrow though, you'll need to get that at some point, you Franks, but the instant farm upgrades certainly still helps the Franks economy. Saito is up as well. Did Saito collect stone maybe? Oh, there's scouts here as well. I didn't realize. Burgundian scouts. That's why Podlin is still in the feudal age. Oh, I've been so preoccupied with the naval fighting. I didn't realize Podlin was going for the scouts. And the mobility of the scouts seems to pay off here as Hoopla is playing the archers. Good team coordination here with these scouts and archers combined. Guil with the stable now has to give up on water, of course, going to lose all of the docks here at this point. I think Lavalong doesn't need to invest anything more into the naval situation. It's been won. Could have won it probably with half the fire galleys, to be honest, but certainly claiming the naval situation here, while his 2 teammates are working together with the extended feudal age armies here. Skirmishers, that's not going to last you very long when there are scouts out from the other opponent here, especially if Hoopla has the micro point here and is able to take out the spear. That's actually good engagement by Saito here, getting nice hits in on the scouts with the spearman, and the skirmishers stay alive for a while longer, but now eventually they will be dying to the scouts' efforts of the Burgundians. Also going to the Castle Age now without Bosa, but with the farming upgrade in, so popping up some more TCs and oh, yikes. That's a lot of stables for a 1 TC economy here for the Burgundians. Let's have a look at Podlin's situation here. Wood will be able to place 2 or 3 TCs here, two additional TCs with the wood and gold at their disposition. Not sure I ever seen scouts from Pocket on Disco. I think I've seen it a few times before on this map, but that's more about not knowing the map all that well, I guess. It's huge distances. And the scouts don't aggro the wolves, so that's a fair point as well. That's actually a reasonable... Oh, speaking of wolves... I guess it's because the scouts move so quickly. The wolves can't really catch up. Defensive tower from Guil here, but the archers, they should be able to stop that from happening. Hoopla is in the castle edge, but where is the crossbow upgrade? Botkin is in, so I like that Hoopla is getting Botkin first. It's going to get some great value here of these archers. Look at their kill count, it's 6 kills, it's going to be more. I don't think that tower completes. So that's a great engagement by the purple player. BJ heavily reliant on their pocket. At this stage, it's a free boom for the Franks. After all, we have some knights popping out now, but they need to clean up the wolves to get safe passage through here. To or from for the team coordination here. 4 stables pumping out knights for the Franks though, and the upgrades are kicking in as well, +1/+1, whereas our Burgundians player has gone into Cavalier as they can. They don't get Bloodlands, but they get the Cavalier upgrade at half price in the Castle Age, so that's certainly a unit that can compete with the Castle Age Franks Knights, because if you look at the stats here, the Cavalier has equal HP but 2 more attack. Wolves ignore scouts, but they will go after the spearmen chasing the scouts. Okay, so if you'd had spearmen chasing you, you could just go close to the wolves, and then the wolves would chase the spears. That's interesting, useful to know. Yeah, cleaning up the passages here now. To more smoothly pass through, I guess. And also the lumber camps going up in the middle here, so Padlin might have a long-term goal of contesting the relics, actually. Wait, why are the monks moving here? Ah, it's because of... No. Are they just patrolling? Maybe there's been some unit movement here I missed. Can Berber's wolf rush with Wills here? In theory, I guess. But there are so many wolves. So many wolves. No, I mean, you'd send a villager to the opponent's side in that case, but there are so many wolves. One of them is bound to catch up, I guess. Oh, Korean's player dropping a castle with elite skirmisher defense now. That does keep Hoopla's efforts away for a little while here. The Franks Knights popping in as well, chasing Hoopla's armies here now. Crossbow numbers of Hoopla severely compromised here. Consistent production of the 2 ranges here, but you need backyards for this map, yeah, true. Where's the monastery? What do you mean, Tech Sherrett? It's supposed to be a monster over here, or oh yeah, you want the players to build monasteries, maybe. I don't think they have any monks out yet at all. Wolves have slightly higher stats, yes. No Gaia monster. Yeah, that should be 1 down here probably then. But could be a bug actually, if that's intended. Now let's have a look at the pocket numbers here. That Burgundy's economy is starting to work for Padlin here, but the Franks player well ahead still. Looks like Kermerog is actually almost aiming for Imperial Age here. Nah, this makes more knights instead. I think that makes sense to match the pocket army efforts here. Yeah, still wolves out there. What's the eco KD? Guil has lost lots of eco units. That's quite a bit of fish from the early game, but also villagers on land since Hoopla was raiding with archers over here. But again, Kravaror has had an undisturbed boom, also dropping a defensive castle in the core economy here. Will probably drop more castles to think ahead against potential raids. Dying to the boar, slight equality. This is nothing like the Cape of Storms scheme. On Cape of Storms, dying to the boar, they had great aggression of both land and water. They had so here as well. But looking at the eco situation, BJ are keeping it up nicely here still, all things considered. The wheelbarrow handcart missing for two of the players from BJ, but Imperial Age coming in for the Franks, and that means that Cavalier and Paladin for the Franks will be on the menu, and Paladin with the much later Castle Age after the starting scouts is lagging behind in that progression. Malian's camels are being made here, and in the Imperial Age especially, they are certainly a strong counter to the Burgundians, because Malian's cavalry, they get extra attack from Fari, but they're a great late game raiding civilization. Very versatile tech 3 in the Castle Age for the Malians as well. They could make basically everything. Looks like the dying to the war aggression has come to an end. They need to replenish the ranged units for this to make sense. There's some Byzantine camels being added as well. I think I like that, because there's the fish eco to benefit from that. We'll need some... Maybe they're not thinking about it right now, but if you redock the middle islands here, you could dock on these shorelines, and then the trial distance for the fish will be significantly smaller. Let's have a look and see if they have gill nets in. I don't think so. Gill nets also essential for especially long distance fishing like this, to have the fishing ships move faster. Castles going down the middle here as well. Krömerorg with the Franks, yeah, the 10 seconds to imp, going to get to Cavalier, which will be stronger Cavaliers than the Burgundians, I think, since Burgundians lack bloodlines. And of course, going to be able to get to Paladin very soon as well. Just look at the resources. Could I actually go straight for Paladin here if you're the Franks, after Cavalier, that is? But Krömerorg seems to be... Is he pop-capped or...? Not entirely, but getting close. Okay, huge engagement. This is a great engagement for Padlin. This is great engagement for the Burgundians, because Cavalier is not in for the Franks yet. Franks are going to lose units here, and the crossbows from behind as well. They are firing for free from behind here, because the Cavalier or the Franks are denying movement for BJ into the ranged units over here. Imperial Age on the way for the remaining players of Dying to the War, as well as Labanar with the Byzantines is going... Who's Imperial Age here? Hoopla is Imperial Age here, and for some reason doesn't have Bracer Arbalest yet. Could be an eco issue. So also queuing some trebs to deal with the middle castles. Thinking ahead here. Great fight for Dying to the Board, though. Great fight before Cavalier kicked in for the Franks, and I think Yeah, he's been replenishing them though. Now he definitely has the stronger Cavaliers compared to the Burgundians here. Could be an issue. Plate body armor. Full upgrades in for the Franks as well. Sorry, I just need to diminish the volume a little bit here. 45 Cavaliers, Paladin on the way for the Burgundians, beating the Franks to the Paladins here. This again could be huge for Dying to the War, actually. Now Arb is in for Hoopla. Lamalar is just a few seconds away from Imperial Age as well, 20 seconds away, so that should be double Arb and Paladin combo for Dying to the War, who also have more military total, but I suppose part of that is guarding the shoreline up here, so numbers are a bit deceiving. I love how they docked the middle now to diminish the travel distance for the fish, and look at the farm eco, it's nothing too crazy here. Still, Lavalarm has been able to pump out some camels and also get to the Arb Bracer upgrade. Siege Engineers coming in for Hoopla as well. That's going to give the Frebs an extra range and more attack. So dealing with the middle castles here should be easy enough for Dying to the War. Whereas BJ, they need to regroup. I guess we've had a good deboom. Deboom. No, deboom. It's not debooming by any means. It's a reboom from Grill here. No one tried to claim the middle relics just yet. I mean, there's still abundance of gold in areas around the map here. Paladin coming in for the Franks as well, but it does kick in for the Burgundians first. Not too much of a power spike though, considering that there's going to be 50 or more Franks Paladins out and about here as well. Burgundians, similar numbers, but they're also going to be contested by the Malians camels, but Grill is still in the cast stage. No Farimba, obviously. Camels, they are weak to range fire as well, and with the number of Arbalest on the field, I don't see Grill's camels contributing all that much, you know, but Grill took a beating again in the early game. So it makes sense that they're just trying to at least make some army efforts to coordinate with their team. About 25 equal lead for Dying to the War here now, but they have a significant population lead since they have more military total. Certainly a good flow of Paladins from Franks. Let's see if Franks have the Chivalry unique technology, actually. Don't see it yet, but that diminishes the cost of cavalry for the Franks by 40%, so that's a huge one to get. Sorry, it's still too loud for me here. Sorry about that. I don't want to hurt my ears. So sorry, the game sounds will be rather low. Great cavalry production from both sides here. It's still only the 5 stables of the Burgundians, but I guess that's alright. Still keeping up with Frank's production. I want to see if Chivalry is... conscriptions in for our friends here. A bit hard to spot in the massive stats screen that is. BJ, they're pushing back now. They're pushing back. The Malians player finally going Imperial Age as well, which means that Farimba and Heavy Camel could be on the menu. Lots of gold in the bank for Grill. Kvemerog is floating lots of resources. Could actually, well, it's only wood and food, but could still send it to your excess resources to your teammate for them to benefit if you need to, or just sell the wood for gold, so you'll be able to pump out Paladins more quickly. And the Frank's unique tech, of course, it's not a discount to the production of cavalry, but it makes them produce faster, isn't it? 40% faster. So I messed that one up in the heat of the moment. Great throw of Grill not to engage here until absolutely necessary. We'll want to get to Imperial Age and at least get Heavy Camel and some attack upgrades in if possible. All of this river is passable by melee units, and it actually means that you could actually bring in the ships here as well for a level arm. They probably didn't think about it, but the fire galleys, and I don't know if there are any galleys, but I guess the fire galleys could help out as a complementary unit as well, rather than just guard the shorelines up here. They could be brought into the fights in the middle and actually make a difference. Still skirmishers for Saito here, not ideal when there's so much cavalry on the field. They should simply just die. Heavy camels in for the Byzantines. Byzantines have a discount to the camels as well. And Johannes says, I think they die at the waterfall. They should, but they don't. This is also passable for some reason. So you could dive the Niagara Falls here with no issues at all. Still slight military lead for dying to the war, but they're struggling to close out the game this time around. BJ have stabilized. Imperial Age coming in for the Koreans as well. In which case... what will the Koreans do? I guess we're planning to go into some siege investment from the Koreans. I guess if you get enough siege on the girls, you could exploit the choke pointy areas of this map, but with so much cavalry on the field, I'm not sure how much that will apply. 45 seconds still for heavy cavalry for the Himalayan, so definitely should try to avoid engagements here, but the fight is being taken, dying to the war, taking a good fight again, aren't they? I think they're going to trade well here in the middle of everything. The full defense for the Byzantines heavy camels as well. BJ slightly outnumbered, but nothing too crazy here. Where are the Burgundian Paladins though? Where are all the Paladins at this point? They're chilling out at home, I guess, and cleaning up some raids. Don't see any trade efforts from either team just yet. Trade is really slow on this map. It's by Tech Chariot's design, because he also decided with community games in mind and didn't want trade to be too extensive. So trade is slow on this map. You want to exhaust the natural resources first and maybe try and contest the middle relics as well, which are 13 relics. That's going to give you a nice gold boost. Looks like BJ are pushing back here now. The Franks Paladins, they will outclass the Burgundians easily in the late game. And overall, the Franks economy should be able to keep up with the Burgundians as well in this very late game. We have Farimba, no Farimba yet, but otherwise Imperial Age upgrades, only missing the last armor now for Grill's heavy camels. Army production seems to have come to a halt, but our blue friend is also queuing trebuchets from the castle at home base here, while placing a forward castle in the middle to try and focus down Hoopglass castle over here and push dying to the board further back here. As far as economy efforts go, it's still only 3 TCs for the Burgundians, it's 4 TCs for the Franks, it's 124 builders to 112. So in any engagements between paladins here, it should always be easier for the teal player to replenish the lost units. There's Farimba for the Malians player. That's going to give the camels a not 7+2 attack, but 7+7 attack total. Going to be very handy against the non-bloodlined Burgundians here, but as you can see, the Byzantines player has gone into the Halberdiers now, which is cheaper for the Byzantines as well. Most of the counter options are cheaper for the Byzantines. They are truly a defensive civilization. Let's have a look here. 72 paladins, only 2 stables producing now, but that's because Grembrog is pop-capped here. But it's more paladins for the Franks than for the Burgundians, but there's also heaps of halberdiers here and bomber cannons popping out for Lava Alarm. So they've made a smart switch now, dying to the boar, to deal with the double cavalry investments of the Team BJ. Funny enough, skirmishers make more sense now because there's lots of arbalists, there's lots of halberdiers, and skirmishers counter both of these combinations. Let's see for the fight here, though. The halberdiers is going for the Franks paladins rather than the heavy camels here. Oh, I'd rather see the paladins fighting paladins than the halbs fighting camels, honestly, because Burgundians paladins, they will not trade well against the fighting by heavy camels here. 7+7 attack, remember, but the numbers aren't quite there for BJ, so they're struggling to handle the Burgundians paladins after all. Where's this bomber cannon? Trebuchets with siege engineers here, they're fighting uphill, but they still have additional damage output after researching siege engineers, about 400-500 damage per shot here. Help's going in to defend as well. This is where the action's at now. Top side, not much happening. Yeah, they want to break through here too. Get some more. They need to get some raids in to stop this. There's still no trade going on there, so I guess they could starve BJ of gold eventually. Jared says, my opinion is that this map is all about Pike Siege. You can go cavalry from pocket. I guess, especially since there's these choke points here favoring siege units, among other things. And but there's huge distances to travel as well, so we definitely need cavalry, but that's as Pleb Jared says, that could come from the pocket. More barracks going up here. Lava Alarm is going to pump out more halberdiers here, as we have the Burgundians Paladins a little bit hesitant, or team coordination not on top for dying to the board. Now the Arbalists and Halberdiers are out of position. That means that some Paladins are going to be lost needlessly for Paladin here. And Grembrog with the Franks is keeping up with the numbers still, so the Paladin versus Paladin fights should still favor the Franks. Hoplomat says, I think we need to add Cannon Galley in here. Yeah, that would be, would definitely be making a difference with Cannon Galleons here. You could reach far into the shoreline. Also, it's a siege weapon, of course. But once again, Dying to the War are pushing back here. Now the Paladins are fighting in a massive choke point here without the Halberdiers meddling in, but the production is on point for both of the pockets still. They're pumping out their mounted units. And the tides have switched again. They're Dying to the War. They're actually at an eco disadvantage now, but they are with way more military. And BJ, they've just had enough. Oh, never mind. GG well played. He starts with a G, but Dying to the Board takes game number 2. And that's it for Otisco this time around. Cannon Galleon would have made sense. You could sort of make a surprise attack on the side. Actually one that BJ would struggle a lot to counter. But the big fighting in the middle certainly paid off as well. And the scouts, archers definitely paid off as well. Even if the pocket still had a huge head start to the boom with the Franks. It wasn't enough. I don't see any chivalry from the Franks, even though the castle was up. Queberog never got to Chivalry, which would have been a huge advantage in the Paladins' numbers production against the Burgundians here. We are going to browse through the military stats here. Let us have a look. 391 to 249 KD for Queberog here. Solid pocket playing there. But Paladin as well. Good engagements here, as we can see from the positive KD. With dying to the board, taking the win in the end. Look at that economy. Outdoing the Burgundians by good margins here. And yeah, in the end they had more villagers, but Paladin slightly behind for a long time. Uptimes show the scouts here. FC, scouts for the Burgundians, scouts archers, naval aggression, so Lava Alarm, naval beast, by the looks of it. This means we're going to BJ's second home map. And what is that going to be? Let's have a look. I am going to reboot my game just for safety here. Something feels a bit off. So let me just bring up the BR back screen. And we'll continue with game 3. Just a sec. We started the game. Alright, let's get back to it. Game 3 is going to be Kawazan. Here we go, guys. The score is 2-0, 2-0, if you will. And dying to the board will be facing BJ's second home map. This is Kawazan. It's been in the ranked pool at least for 1v1. It was originally an Empire Wars start map, but it's also been adapted to random map starts, I guess. Let's have a look at BJ's setup here to begin with. They are with a Kudens flank here with Grill. And in the pocket we have Queverorg with the slabs. Cheaper siege weapons for the slabs. Dojina infantry in the Imperial Age could be very scary. And finally Pepe Sasia with the Gurjaras. Gurjaras. Interesting. So Gudjar start with a food boost in the underneath TC where they start with berry bushes. You'll see them drop the mill early because if you garrison livestock and sheep or their equivalents in the mill, that will give you a tiny but consistent trickle of food until the mill, or until the sheep are garrisoned or the mill killed. So we'll see. Gujara's fielding the camels here most likely, but we'll see what they do. They are also an. They have elephants, don't they? So we might be seeing elephants here as well. Left side, we have Lava Alarm here with the Malay. Might be contesting water again. I'm envisioning Lava Alarm docking this side. And to contest whatever Pepe Sazia will do with Gudjaras here. But also, maybe you don't need to dock that early with Gudjaras since you have that tiny food boost from the sheep. Not necessarily enough to sustain you throughout the game though. Missing a couple of sheep though. And looks like the boar is just going to be hunted like next to the mill because why not, honestly. You'll have the mill nice and early anyway. It's going to cause a little bit more decay, but nothing too crazy for the grey player. Alright. Lavanar with the Malay as mentioned, and in the pocket position we have Mike Giorgio with the Lithuanians. I love that. You know why? Because the relics are so easily attainable this map. There's 7 relics in the middle. So if you claim some nice early map control for dying to the war here, it should be a piece of cake for Lithuanians to bring in at least 4 relics to give your cavalry an extra +4 attack boost. +1 per relic. And finally, down to the south here we have Hoopla with the Ethiopians. Has been proving the archer micro is on point, Hoopla. So Hoopla is going to play the archers yet again with the Ethiopians here. Could of course open with an infantry style approach as well, but I don't see any reason for that here as straight archers just as well is a good go-to in the team games for any good archer civilization these days. Teutons might struggle against Ethiopians actually. Ethiopians have all of the siege options, so that sort of negates the strong siege that Teutons have. Teutons, yes, they have mobility, but they don't have husbandry. So the mobility is less strong on these open maps. And they certainly struggle against range units because Teutons, almost all of what Teutons can do is based around very strong melee units, but their pierce armor isn't nothing too great. Oh, a bit unfortunate for Guil there, losing a villager to the mighty Gaia as well. Dying to the boar, but not... Is he playing for the wrong team here or what's going on? Because BJ is dying to the boar, but they're also dying to the boar, so... so far, so... Yeah, that got a bit too complicated. Slabs, farmers work faster, so they have a fantastic food economy on land. And will probably also play the cavalry from the pocket. And also, with one of the recent patches, Slabs with their unique technology, their castle's cost is transitioned to cost 50% wood instead of stone or something. So Slabs could spam castles and make bowyards more viable these days. At least that's an option they have. Let's see if, how the scouting is going here. Grill confirms that this is Hoopla's side, who's been actually milling the hunt over the berries here. 4 deer. That's nearly as much food as you get from 6 berry bushes, except the deer collects faster. So I can get aboard with that approach here. This map should be tougher to wall. I guess you'll wall this gap in between the woodland at some point. There's the feud late for our Malay player. Fire Galley in the making. Probably has... didn't actually scout that Pepe Sazia has docked over here. But with the feud late in for the Malay, great head start there. Even with the 21 pop-up for the Gujars here, the Malay are still well ahead. Boya vs Lightis should be interesting to see. Yeah, the Lightis should still win if they have their relics. If they don't, then I guess the Boyar should be doing okay. But one of Boyar's strengths is really strong melee armor, so... So they'd still struggle against Lightis, I guess. Oh! Docking Villager going down here to Lama Alarm's starting scout. Great pick off by the Malay here. And the dock that Pepe Sazia has dropped is not even going to be able to produce a fishing ship here. And I can't help but wonder why Pepe Sazia wouldn't dock the safe back pond first. As has been... Actually, it's not the case for dying to the boar either, so... Or is it? I guess you could always relocate to the back here at least, but maybe it's because it's a bit it's just not enough deep fish to share for 2 players. That could be. Demolition ship, okay, but another fire galley popping out here for Lama Alarm. So Lama Alarm easily wins the pond up north there. I hope he doesn't queue more fire galleys after this one. 2 should be sufficient here. Once that dock is out of the way. Looks like Pepe Sazia is going for the scouts opening here. And considering the openness of dying to the war here, that should have some merit to it. Spearman out here, so Lama Alarm is not going to get an additional villager pick here. From the Ethiopians, you can of course expect the archers, so maybe you'll see some Teuton skirmishes here, or just clever walling and tower defense. Teutons can garrison twice as many villagers inside towers, and they can also garrison an additional 10 villagers inside the TC. So they should be have an easier time defending against ranged, well, feudal age archers than many other civilizations. Yeah, but the Boyars have the faster working farmers, or the Slavs have the faster working farmers, so it should be fairly easy to get Boyars out. But yeah, it's true. But Lightis are from castles as well, so you need to factor in that, assuming you get the unique technology as the Slavs, you'll have an easier time getting your castles up than the Lithuanians. But I think the Lithuanians will be playing standard cavalry here, but the Slavs might be still be going for Boyars. I like how Lama Alarm is keeping the scout here as well, just in case Pepe Sazia will try to opt for some repairs on their own ships or on the dock. Then the scout would be able to handle the builder more easily than the fire galleys here. No more fire galleys in queue, I love to see that. 3 is more than enough here to keep this pond under control for Lama Alarm. Alright, 2 players moving out now. Didn't engage anything at all yet. I guess it could technically take out fish with the archers. Ah, that's what he's gonna do. Nice. Good pick by Hoopla there. Might at least idle some of the fish here. If it doesn't get any kills, at least he could obstruct that 5 fishing ships income of Grill, who is now officially fully walled at home, so the archers won't be able to obstruct the spaces. Learned from the previous game apparently that Hoopla likes to go archers. If I'm up against him, I'd better be walled nice and early, and as you can see, the castle age is on the way as well. So Hoopla's feudal age archers, they're not going to pay off nearly as well this game as earlier. We have lots of scouts for Mike Georgiou. Getting some hits in on the opposing pocket here, the Slavs player who also didn't commit to any feudal age armies, but the straight fast castle age approach for BJ does look to be paying off here still. They'll be able to field much stronger armies, or just add additional TCs. So you'll note that the Slav player is placing the TC on stone, so that sends some bowyars and castles vibes, if you ask me. Hoopla is attacking the house here. I think he does so intentionally so as to not path too closely into the town center fire here. houses. They also don't have any building... decent piers armor actually for the houses, but looks like Hoopla might make it in here, but he needs to keep the archers closer, otherwise Grill will just house wall behind this, keep it safe. And there's still gold axes in the back for Grill, so no disaster here yet. Just playing it patiently here. Both stables producing the knights, +1 defense at least is in, Bloodlines is in. And the Hoopla is still has 1 minute 40 seconds to go to the Castle Age. So, how many knights do you need here? 6 maybe. There are only feudal age archers after all, but they have fletching, they have the range, they could still hit and run. Nice quick walling efforts from Gil behind here to disallow the archers from entering after taking out the house. Top side, we have some ranged aggression from the Malay here as well. No need to fight for the pond anymore. And the Lithuanian scouts helping out as well. Looked like for a moment there, like Lavalarm wanted to engage the mill there to force the sheep to garrison. That would stop that tidy food trickle for the Gudjaras here. But, oh, small or house walling the aggression out. That's not going to work when there's archers on the field though, and that's going to be some villagers down for the grey player. So what happened to the archers of Hoopla here? I guess Hoopla saw the knights and just, oh, I'm out of here. I don't want to lose my archers to Teuton's Castle Age Knights. No, thank you very much. Forcing a defensive tower here of the Grey player, not bad at all. Pepes taking a beating here, but the Slavs pocket recovering nicely. Huge eco lead over the Lithuanians. It's only 1 TC for yellow here, and I think Mike should keep at 1 TC for a while. Actually dropping the monastery in the middle, that's... I guess it makes sense for quick relics collection, but it doesn't make much sense in terms of keeping the relics, depending on how much damage you're able to do, of course. Pacifying archers comes in handy here, as does the instant pikeman upgrade for the Ethiopians. So Hoopla gets a welcome engagement there, but the +2 defense is in for Gwil's Teutons here with the knights, and it's also only lost 3 villagers to the aggression overall. So good defense by Gwil this game for sure. BJ eco lead. They're outnumbered in military, but that shouldn't make too much of a difference given the situation currently. Pepes are making the Shri Vamsha riders now to react to the crossbow investment of the Lavalarm. Great reaction there. Siege push also wouldn't be doing too much for Lavalarm, I think, given because the Shri Vamsha riders, they're like an even faster light cab in a sense, and with comparable attack, so they can dodge ranged attacks, so crossbows won't be dealing much damage, at least not in the first shot, and I suppose if they get those to the siege weapons, they'll easily snipe those as well. Thinking ahead for the Malay, I like that from Lavalarm, adding a forward barriers to the siege, transitioning into sort of a pike siege push here now, which means that the Shri Bamshas, they die easily to pikes, so that might be of a concern for the Gudjaras player. 2 vs 1 situation down south here now. Hoopla with a solid chunk of crossbows, whereas Mike Georgia with the Lithuanians now with 2 relics as well. Is able to keep up with the what is essentially a +3 defense knights for the Teutons, should be melee defense because of the Teutons bonus, giving all melee units +1 melee armor in the Castle Age. Slav's boom is coming up large though. The Boyars in production here. They have beastly defense as well for melee armor and an attack comparable to that of a cavalier, so they have better or matching attack to the Lithuanians, at least for the time being, but I guess we're going to bring in more relics to the middle. Yeah, look at that. That's the thing about the exposed monster like that, is easily taken out, but now Mike at least reacts and chases away Kremmerorg's armies here. Looks like we'll have a mix of knights and boyars for the Slavs player, not too bad at all. might work out for them. No, we're through here, but what happened to the Lithuanians Knights? There's lots of them out in the field, but I think they're... Where are they? Yeah, they're in the middle. Saving the relics. Oh, great engagement for BJ here. Siege weapon going to go down immediately for Hoopla here. It takes a choke point, has the faster firing rate of the Ethiopians, but still... it's facing a 2 vs 1 situation here, and that's a lot of crossbows going down there. That's definitely a game-changing fight there for BJ. BJ, yes... Less military currently, but taking out a large group of crossbows like that, that's just a great fight any day. Yeah, what did I say? Did I say hoopla? Yeah, anyway. I must have said something wrong. Definitely not a great fight for hoopla. See, BJ, they're low in the army numbers. Shiravansha riders diving in here now. They're actually going to group up on the south side by the looks of it. Where are they going? I am a Tuplamat. Oh yeah, you're wondering what he's doing, I guess. What's going on with the archers? Wasting Ethiopian's archers like that. Crossbows. Teutons extending the economy here now, so does Pepesazia. Their score is still in favor of dying to the boar, whereas I'm not quite sure why. They've been losing lots more units, but maybe their overall army size is ahead here. It's especially Lamalarm pushing like crazy up above here now. Pikes in the mix, +2 defense is in. Couple of mangonels to push as well. Patient push here. Oh, look at that! It's a trap! It's a trap! Oh! Oh, we need to find that. We need to see what happened here. Okay, look at that. Look at that. Here they go. Going for the gold. They're going for gold. Don't! No! And... trapping all those armies, that has to be worth losing a few builders. That has to be worth losing a few villagers. Come on. Beautiful trap there by Lamalarm. It did cost him 5 villagers, but yeah, who's counting? Great little trap there. Viper worthy. So, Shiribamshas here diving in for the crossbows. They have to stay clear of the pikes, so there's lots of pikes here for Lamalarm. But they're running away then. They're so quick. They're so much faster than the pikes. They have no trouble running away from fights. They're 1.5 times as fast. I was completely dead if those knights and warriors had run forward there. Yeah, true. Hoopla didn't have any armies after losing these crossbows, so that was definitely BJ's moment to push. But now I think they might be thinking about saving their teammate over here. Slabs with a gigantic boom going on here though. 111 villagers. More than... yeah, about 50 villagers more than Lithuanians. Granted, Lithuanians now with 4 relics for the knights, so 10+6 attack for those knights, but... the flat economy way superior. Way superior at this stage. So about 40 villagers lead for BJ here. Pepesazia taking a beating, yes, but we have again the double cavalry investments here, bowyars and knights. Maybe the 3rd time is the charm for BJ here. They seem to be enjoying cavalry play, and so do I. So I can approve of this approach, of course. Let's see how the bowyars trade with mass pikes like this. They are missing some attack upgrades here, but bowyars, they have beastly melee armor. It's not a great fight, but it's also not the worst fight ever. They'll push back essentially all of Lamalam's armies here now, leaving and dying to the boar with... How do they have so much army? What is all this military? What's with the random militia? Probably a misclick. And now going for the middle to drop a castle, securing the relics, securing the middle position here. If you ever want to eat these berries, I think it's just about positioning here to have a hill to fall back to. Oh, yours. Let's see if the Slavs unique tech is in by any chance here. Not yet. It's a castle age technology, I think, for the Slavs to get those cheaper castles up. But that is indeed not in yet. Forward castle for Hoopla, defensive castle from Guil, good defensive castle protecting the gold. Nice stone walls as well, denying entry for any armies of Hoopla here, who has had to invest into significantly more pikemen as well. Missing the attack upgrade still, that would certainly aid in fighting the Knights of the Teutons. But Guil is looping around here now. Is he going to look for a entry into Hoopla's base while Hoopla is trying to breach through forward here? Let's see. Yeah, they're just chilling out for the time being. Another layer of house walls down here as well. Castle goes up in the middle for Mike Giorgio, but not too much of a concern for BJ at this point, I'd say. 2 castles producing the bowyards now, and bowyard numbers almost matching the Lithuanian knights as well. Imperial Age coming from Hoopla here, and 28 crossbows to benefit from the arm upgrade as well, but more importantly, going to be able to produce trebuchets from the castle, and the fact that Hoopla has a half a minute lead. That's going to give get the first treb out a little bit ahead of Guil here. 1 castle each, so probably going to be looking at the Trebs war down south here, while Dying to the Boar will attempt to cripple the Gujaras at home base here. I feel like they've been focusing way too much on the Grey player though. Pepe Sazia's lowest score has been hit heavily throughout the game. Would have made more sense to split up units and get some raids in on the stabs maybe. But they're probably all playing for the long game here as well. Look at the Knights of the Teutons here now, Pikemen of Hoopla. Chasing them, but even the non-husbandry Teutons Knights, they outrun the pikes, thankfully, so unless Guil chooses to try and fight the Lithuanians, Knights here should be able to pull away and keep the armies safe before getting the Imperial Age upgrades in here. Well ahead to the Imperial Age for the Teutons over the Lithuanians here as well, so looking at cavalry numbers, yes, it's much larger for the Lithuanians, but there's also 2 minutes to go until Cavalier and the other researchers can come in. Slav unit came in, nice. Who's Slavs? Who's green? Why can't I see it? Anyway, the unique tech for the Slavs essentially changes the cost of castles to cost stone and wood, not just stone alone. So that's going to make it a lot easier to mass and replenish your bowyars. And elite bowyars, they are no joke for sure. 2 tribes in the queue for Guil, and I think if you get Bodkin Arrow and Crenellations here, you could actually outrange Hoopla's castle as well, and have your castle help out, but that's probably not an investment that Guil wants to take just yet. He's nicely behind stone walls here, could easily repair the castle as need be, and take the tribes war against Hoopla here, who now has the Ethiopians' arms out and about. Are we going to see some siege here for the Teutons? More stone here, maybe for repairs, maybe for another castle. Pepe Sasia seems to have stabilized a bit here as well. 2 TCs working, still getting that food prickle from the mill as well, which is nice to see. Ooh, is he out of stone? He's out of stone. He needs to buy stone to keep this castle up. This castle could go down for Gil. He needs a stone, needs to buy stone. Does he even have a market? Yes, he has a market, but that castle goes down. Oh, that's bad news for the blue player. Now the Krebs can focus the walls, and Hoopla can dive in here with the mass amounts of armies here, accompanied by the Lithuanians, soon to become Cavaliers, still with 3 relics. I don't know where the 4th one went, but is relocating them to the back. That makes sense, actually. There's probably a monastery at home. There we go. I'm not told on whether the timing is right to relocate the relics. Look at the volumes! 71 elite bowyars! Oh, green with the room of a lifetime from the Slav's pocket position here. A little bit of fish eco going on, otherwise just the slabs faster rigging farms, and a ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous mass of elite bowyars here. 8 plus 2 melee armor. Should be able to withstand Lithuanians paladin just fine. And in fact, Mike Giorgio might actually need to make a switch to elite lightis or just have halberdiers coming in here for Ethiopians at least. That helps out as well. That's a ridiculous mass of boyars, and it's not even going to end anytime soon. Will they contest the middle castle maybe? Will they contest the relics? There's still 2 relics in the middle as well. But it's also 5 relics for Lithuanians, so that relics cavalier bonus isn't going to be lost anytime soon. The boyars are eating this castle with no issues whatsoever. Who did siege when you have elite boyars? That's just gonna melt. BJ nearly matching the Eye to the Boar's armies. Imperial Age coming in for Pepe Sacia's good jars as well. And which means that Heavy Camel might be on the menu. Should be a nice response to the Cavalier of the Lithuanians. Good pressure being applied on Grey here, but Green has had the free boom almost all game. Castle it down. The bowyars can keep moving out and push, and Hoopla has no response to this. He's queuing halberdiers, yes, but he's nowhere near enough halberdiers here to deal with this mass of bowyars. I don't think even Lithuanians 12+6 cavaliers can. Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are we going? Push the vulnerable player up. Push the Ethiopians. Push the Lithuanians. Oh. I guess they're going to help out Pepe Saci at home base here. In a way, it makes sense. You want to keep your teammates in the game, but the way this is a 1 versus 1, right? So if you push with that ridiculous mass of boyars and also bring in the Teuton's cavalry to fight as well, there's not much dying to the board can do to hold off this side unless Lamalarm comes with the halberdiers down south to help out as well. So this is, funnily enough, this is giving Dying to the War a way back into the game. Sort of the way BJ is moving the armies. I guess it's to deal with raids from Lithuanians as well. 12+6 cavaliers, that's no joke. 12+7 now, in fact, with that, no, 12+6. It's going to be 14+7 paladins if we... when we get there for Lithuanians. The paladin upgrade is on the way. The cavalier mass is absolutely commendable. It's nearly matching the boyars numbers, but there's some Teuton's cavalry to be reckoned with here as well, and Hoopla. Also with the halberdiers, they have massive bonus damage against cavalry. It is 32 after all. So you'd preferably need another unit to deal with the halberdier investment of Dying to the War here. Yeah, looks like Pepe Sacia is going to go down here, but look at the score of Kemeroing in the green pocket here is 12k score, 75 elite bowyars. Could probably even delete villagers at this point to make room for even more bowyars, because I assume there's some resources in the bank. Could sling his teammate as well for a reboom. Pepe Sacia didn't relocate any villagers, but could reboom in the back here. No trade going on as of yet. It looks like Pepe Sacia is nearing the point of defeat here, but still BJ... Wait, okay.
Oh, Elite Teutonic Knight, really? And a second castle going up as well. So Elite Teutonic Knight, I'm sure that is a response to the Halberdier investment. It's actually clever thinking. It's a slow unit, but it absolutely demolishes the Halberdiers. The issue here is that there are still some arbs from Hoopla out of the boat as well, and they would slay the Teutonic Knights again. No upgrades, no credellations, no Bodkin Arrow for the castles for Grill, so the castles, since they don't have the ranged upgrades, they deal less damage as well. It is 198 mil to 28, and it looks like we are going into a 3-0 for Dying to the War in this set against BJ. So, I guess that's it for Dying to the War. Congratulations on the playoff win. We might need to pop you up a notch for the next season, I guess, depending on the sign-ups and everything. TG Garrett Green was fantastic indeed. It was nice to see. I mean, it's those small decisions, right? Like Hoopla said, if they'd run in with the cavalry when Hoopla lost all these crossbows, Hoopla would be so far behind and not be in any position to push like this on this side. And just, it's sad to say it, but just allow your great teammate to die up north and just push the south side instead, and you'd really cripple the Dying to the Board team. So this is small choices in the team games that could have a huge impact on the overall situation. So I'm trying to scout for the unique tech for example, for the Slavs here, but I don't think we ever got that castle unique tech. Unless it's hidden behind something here. Which would need the Slavs even cheaper castle. Didn't really need it. Triple cav can work, but we need to buy ourselves a massive advantage before doing that. But triple cav obviously is hard countered by helps and soft countered by massive arbs. I'll look at the relic gold as well. That's certainly significant at this stage in the game. 3,000 extra gold for Lithuanians. A little bit for the Slavs as well, but nothing too important. I saw a great crown there in game. Yeah, I probably got it done. Or just started it and cancelled it to keep producing. So GG well played, even for a 3-0, this was a fun set to follow.